Hey everybody, Pastor Brian here coming to you from HCC's Sanctuary. I'm by myself, don't worry. Lights are off on purpose, a little for effect, a little to help explain what I'm doing. It's about 9:30 Friday evening, Friday night. I've put my boys to bed and wanted to share something with you that's been really running around in my brain and in my heart and in my spirit all week, especially today. We talk a lot about Good Friday, with good reason. And we talk a lot about Easter Sunday for even more reasons. But I think sometimes we neglect Holy Saturday. I just learned that's what it's called. I've been referring to it as Silent Saturday. Because to me, there's just a giant contrast between Saturday and Sunday. Friday is today, essentially, Good Friday is about loss, is about sacrifice. Sunday is about joy and about hope and about celebration. But Saturday is just kind of a void. It's kind of dark. We don't talk about it much, because I don't think many of us are comfortable with it. Not many of us are comfortable putting ourselves in the position of the disciples and allowing ourselves for a moment to think about what it would have been like. So that's what I want you to do as you watch this on Holy Saturday. So I want you to take just a few minutes. Put yourself in the place of one of the disciples who'd followed around Jesus for 3 years, watched him heal the sick, cause people who are born blind to be able to see again see for the first time. They watched him raise Lazarus from the dead. Then they watched him be betrayed and arrested and brutally beaten, then hung on a cross and crucified and died and buried. Because at this point, 9:30 on Friday, all of that has happened. Only thing that's left is just to go to bed. To go to bed and to wake up on Saturday with no idea of what's really going to happen. Can you imagine? I immediately go to this hopeless place of what was that all about? Because we know none of them really truly believed that Jesus was going to rise from the dead, because none of them were waiting at his tomb on Sunday morning with expectation. They had to be mourning. They had to be sad. Their rabbi, their teacher, their friend had just been murdered. Now, we understand looking back it was a sacrifice, but to them it didn't look that way. They had to be afraid. And Jesus took care of us. What are we going to do now? Where are we going to go? They'd given up homes, they'd given up families, they'd given up careers. Now what are we going to do? And it was silent. And so when you watch this on Saturday, take 5 minutes, take 3 minutes, whatever you're okay doing, and allow yourself to feel the emotions of Saturday. The darkness, the void that would be Saturday. Because I think this year, more than any other, at least in my life, my time with Jesus, I have a whole new respect and understanding for Good Friday and Holy Saturday. Because in the midst of everything that's going on in our world, and the COVID-19 and the pandemic and the quarantines and the social distancing, it can bring up all the same emotions that the disciples were probably feeling. If you're a senior in high school, you're mourning. You're mourning the loss of your senior year and sports and potentially graduations. And some of us are mourning losses of jobs, and we're afraid about, am I going to catch it? Am I going to give it to people? If you're not afraid of catching it and getting sick yourself, you're still afraid, if I get it, I'm going to give it to someone else. There's worry, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's stress, there's the unknown, there's doubt. You can feel hopeless. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know when it's going to change. And I think that's a lot of what the disciples were feeling on Saturday. And it's, I think, the same thing that Jesus was feeling in the Garden of Gethsemane before he was arrested. It's a story where Jesus was so stressed out, so burdened with what was about to happen, that he went and prayed, and Scripture says that he was sweating blood. He was so stressed. But the thing I want you to notice in that story is he doesn't just pray one time and call it good. He prays 3 times until he has peace. Because God understands, Jesus knows that we're going to experience the whole range of emotions throughout our lives. But the thing is, we cannot build a camp in worry. We cannot build our tent and our cities in fear. We cannot live there. And the only way we don't live there is to do exactly what Jesus did and to take those emotions back to God. Give them back to God until we have peace. So that's the second thing I want you to do on Saturday. Whatever emotions come up when you think about COVID-19, when you think about Holy Saturday, I want you to pray through them. I want you to pray until you have peace. Because hope is coming. Sunday morning, we will gather at 10 a.m. and we will celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. We will celebrate hope returning to the world, love returning to the world, God defeating sin and death. We will celebrate that. But I want to put a pause on our celebration because our celebration is so much better when we understand what it would be like if it didn't happen. And how hopeless and afraid and worried and stressed people must be if they don't have the hope of Jesus. And that's the third thing I want you to do, is I want you to invite someone to watch with us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Well, you'll watch this Saturday, on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Invite somebody. Because the world needs hope to re-enter the situation. The world needs love to re-enter the situation. And we're going to see that happen on Sunday morning. Guys, I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching, praying for you. I will see you on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. Good night.